Hey guys, welcome back to Table Flippin' Board Games. I'm Gilly Weed, and joining me is one of my co-hosts, Ogre Yonder. Gameface Gilla is not with us this week. He is home for Thanksgiving vacation. We also have Astria and Woshin, our guests this week, who just joined us for Lord of the Rings, the card game. The shortest game.
So short.
The shortest we've ever played of this particular
There was warned this
game.
would take 2 or 3 hours. That was not 2 or 3 hours.
It was an hour.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, we were settling in. We were all ready, but snacks.
Yeah, it was pretty short. It's a cool card game. It is scenario based. It's also deck building, so you can build your own decks and go up against like harder scenarios. Which is, I always really love scenario games. So It's awesome. It's also, I mentioned this earlier, but it is a Fantasy Flight game, and it was, I forgot his name. Where's the box?
This box?
Yes. Nate French is the designer, and known for designing cards for other living card games that Fantasy Flight does. So, really cool. It's a cool game. I think it really captures a lot of the essence of Lord of the Rings. What did you guys think as new players to it?
At first, I was really, really confused, but once we figured out the phases, like after we'd gone through one phase and I knew what was going on, I really love this game. It was so much fun. I felt like a real story.
Awesome. What do you think?
Yeah,
Richie?
it's pretty fun.
That's one of the things I really like about this game in particular. Having played, I think, the first and the second scenarios, that it always feels like you're going through the story when you're playing it. And just because I think of how the quests go, you know, each time you get a little bit of progress, you get a little bit of text, and, you know, you kind of read about what's happening next. And even things like the fork in the road, where it just feels like part of a story, right? Because it's a little quick decision that has to be made, and then one or two things happens.
Yeah, and then we got ambushed by spiders.
Yeah, we got ambushed by the spiders. But
That was kind of scary. All those spiders coming out at us, and I was like, ah.
I actually thought that we had gone too fast. Right I thought that was it. It was like, well, now we're all dead.
I was really surprised that we pulled that out.
Yeah, definitely. But it's kind of nice because it spreads the damage around, though, between all of us, and we each have kind of our own way of dealing with different parts of the game. Like either when the encounter deck draws cards, or when we're fighting enemies, or our allies are fighting enemies, we can help them out. I think it's really cool because almost every single hero, or definitely each deck, has parts of it that feel super overpowered. Like Gimli, whenever he takes damage, increases his attack power. So, like at the end of the last round, if I got into attack on the last round and just won, he would have had 6 attack, which is just insane. Like I would have one-hit spiders. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like that. Each deck is very specialized, and you do feel overpowered in some respect. Like Eowyn is ridiculous how much she can contribute to the quest, and then when people discard
the reason that
cards,
we finished the first quest in the first round.
Eowyn is awesome. But even too, like Eleanor, I think she's really good too. They're both. I really like this deck too, the Spirit deck, because 2 out of the 3 heroes are awesome female characters too. I wanted to point out Eowyn and Eleanor. So yeah, sorry.
That for you.
Just so you can see a little bit of the art, but then some of the cool females, and of course they're like Eowyn is. I don't really know Eleanor, but Eowyn is really big in the movies and the stories. But I'm gonna switch it back over.
I guess.
Yeah, I think that the like every deck having a specialization and knowing like what you specialize in and being able to like build up toward that is really cool.
Yeah, and I really like the way that I'm glad Gandalf came out.
Yeah.
Because I really like the way that he works. Like he
just shows up, does stuff, and then leaves.
Yeah, he just kind of shows up and he's like, okay, bye.
Which is how he acted before
Right?
The Lord of the Rings. That's about what he does.
Yeah.
So that's about right. I feel like this particular deck didn't really hit its stride because we went so fast, but I really like Denethor's being able to see what the shadow powers were, because I love having more information before I make decisions. I don't gamble like you did, like hoping that it didn't have a shadow power. I just will not do that. Absolutely not. So this was really a good deck for me, and I really like that. I also liked the other attachment that just made him heal every time. I was like, he would have died so many times over if I hadn't been able to just heal him up. So that was really cool.
Yeah, that was really powerful. It was like they couldn't even touch you.
Very
I
Denethor-y,
like
too.
There actually was 2 decisions at the fork in the road. Granted, it was done randomly, but still, that was cool.
Yeah. I don't even know what the
actual
other
What was
are
the other
different.
decision?
I forget what the other one is.
Let's see. You attempt to follow a secret hidden trail to avoid the enemy. You cannot defeat this stage while Ungoliant Spawn is in play, but it's 10. So you just have to keep going and going, and then if there's an Ungoliant Spawn in play, you'd have to defeat it.
So it's possibly easier.
Yeah, possibly.
Possibly
the
harder.
Possibly harder.
The other one brought out 4 spiders immediately, though. Which
That's true, yeah.
But you get to choose, and you
You get
get
to pick which one
you
you
can
are.
pull.
choose.
Yeah, you can pull him out.
But still, we had every spider in the deck but one
Yeah.
to play.
But we dealt with it all.
Yeah.
We dealt with it pretty
Yeah.
well, though, so
We did.
Yeah.
wasn't that scary.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, as the mechanics person, do you think that adding just one extra card per round is enough to scale the game?
What do you mean one extra card?
So you do
per player?
You do a card per player during the questing phase.
Right.
But that's the only scale.
Oh, that's it?
That's all that scales the game.
How many players is the game made for?
2 to 4.
2 to 4? With fewer numbers of players, do you play with the same number of heroes?
It's either 1 to 4. No. So you would play with one deck,
just one deck.
or
That's what
Or two
lasts
decks or
longer,
three
right?
decks or- Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
that would last a lot longer. Because, like, you can't divide the number of enemies among the same
Right.
number of people. I don't know. I can't think of a better way to scale it off the top of my head, but that does seem like
You could scale
it's maybe a
progress.
little underpowered.
Some decks
Yeah.
scale monsters by having different cards that are like for 2 to 3 players, or like 1 to 2, and then 3 to 4 players. I don't necessarily think that it's enough to scale, but this is supposed to be the easiest, so I would want to play like a harder scenario.
Yeah, and see how they go.
Some of them though, like bringing out, there are some of these decks, the treachery decks that have a ton of locations, and I could see that would really weigh you down a lot more than if you're just bringing out like 1 or 2. If you're bringing out a ton more.
That's the thing. It might be just because when you have fewer, I think it might just like this might be the way that the game is supposed to be played, and then when you're playing with fewer players, it's just harder. Because I could see like if we didn't have the Northern Tracker card, and you got a whole bunch of locations, and we were playing with just 2 decks, then locations would just wreck you. You just can't go through them fast enough.
Questing
right?
would be terrible.
Yeah, questing would be awful. But with 4 decks, you're guaranteed to have all of the different parts. So maybe this is the balanced version, and then like the scaling is actually the other way, where not drawing those extra cards is like a disadvantage. So I don't know.
I think that would make sense. You have to
Yeah.
you have to pick something to balance around. It would make sense that they balance around 4.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially 4 different classes of decks, and
It's a co-op game. You could just one player could play all 4, right?
that's,
That's
true. You
also-
can't just do
yes.
all of them. Yeah, there's no disadvantage to doing that.
Yeah. I wanted to mention that while we're on the topic, is one complaint I have with this game is it says that you need to purchase 2 core sets in order to play with 4 people. But so then I'm reading that last night at like midnight, and I was like, game phase killer? Does that mean I have to go out in Black Friday traffic and get another core set of this game? He was like, no, because the only thing is if you, oh wait, this one right here. It only gives you 2 of these, which is your threat tracker. Yeah, there we go. Backwards is fine. So it only gives you 2 of those, but you need to keep track of 4 different people's threats. So that is literally the only thing. Otherwise, like, you have all of the cards you need per decks to make it work with 4. That seems lame. Like, that seems really lame that they're saying you need to buy a whole other game just to get 2 of these. We use dice.
Or a piece of paper. Like,
Yeah, it's really lame in my opinion.
So if you had 2 sets, you would just have 2. I mean, like you wouldn't
have super
add
duplicates of
extra.
everything.
Yeah. Would
Yeah.
you make your decks bigger or something? Or?
You can mix and match decks to create your own deck. So that would be one of the benefits, is you could start to make your own decks. Some people make decks that are like maybe spirit and lore. And that's
you can actually mix between.
you can,
Okay.
but it gets very interesting because you had a card earlier that said that it had to be spent off of Aragorn's resource pool specifically. So if I have these 2, I could only use his Doonhere's as a spirit hero. I could only use his resources for spirit cards.
Oh, you
and
can't
I could
mix
only
resources?
use Legolas's
Oh, that's the worst.
resources. So generally what people do is they'll have like 2/3, I think, of one.
Yeah.
And then
like a
1/3 of
small minor piece of
another.
another.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But you can mix and match them, and people do make like hybrid decks.
Is there anything that you... Are these basic decks? Because I know there's a whole bunch of scenarios that you can go through. Are these basic decks good enough to do that, or do you have to start building your own deck at some point to win? Have you heard anything about that?
I only know that the basic decks are supposed to be good enough for the 3 scenarios, but I'm guessing that you have to have more advanced decks for the advanced scenarios. Let's see if this has anything about building advanced decks in here.
Well, there's no PvP or anything, right? So it's not like you build a deck to fight somebody else.
Oh, interesting.
It has
This
something
deck has a lot
in
of
here.
interesting cards.
Yeah, we didn't even get to see most of our decks because we only draw, well, unless you're Woshin, you only draw 1 card at a time.
Yeah.
So, what did you draw, like 6 cards that last turn or something?
No, it was just an extra. Oh, that's right. There was some location that let me draw 2 because I was the first player.
Yeah.
That wasn't something that I did.
And then you did like that, the defense thing that lets you draw 3.
Yeah, there's something that.
Yeah, I had some kind of sacrifice card. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah.
But it's because my ally died.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like all the cards that I had the entire game.
Yeah.
So they
It's
have
pretty useful.
They have adventure pack expansions, and it says much of the depth and fun of the Lord of the Rings the card game comes from when players conceive and construct original decks using the cards of the core set and those found in adventure pack expansions.
Interesting.
So in the expansions, I'm hoping that they would have the quests that you go through and that sort of thing would have more like of the story and lore and whatever behind it. Because I think that for me, like the game, I think is pretty fun and like actually just playing through it is cool. But we talked about this right at the beginning. The part that I like the most about it actually is just the feeling of the game and like the story progress and that sort of stuff. So I wonder if they did anything that are specifically like, we're going to tell you lots of story stuff and then maybe you fight a little bit.
I'm actually kind of bummed that it didn't have an end to the quest.
Right? Yeah.
That was weird.
Well,
I was like, good job, you
maybe-
beat the spider.
Maybe maybe they lead into it in the second one or something. Because
That could be.
Because the core game does come with 3, right?
It actually says if you want to play an advanced version of the game, you play all 3 scenarios right in a row using
wow.
the same characters that
Oh,
you
so the
have.
damage
So the
sticks.
damage sticks.
Wow.
So
rough.
you can't just go sacrificing glowing or whatever.
Right, but you'd have everything still out, right?
Yeah.
So that would be a nice
That's
thing
pretty
is you'd
cool.
have stuff still out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could get deeper in this because this one's got this one has choose a character, heal all the damage from that character. And this one's a trap that attached enemy cannot attack. You can attach it to an enemy.
Oh, cool.
So there's a lot of stuff that this one does, and there's a lot of card draw for other people. Like you were saying, that this one's like choose a player of that card. Player draws 3 cards. There's a bunch of these.
Yeah, but if
Super
you ran out
utility.
of cards, you could actually run out of cards if you're doing all 3
That,
scenarios in a
yeah,
row.
maybe
Oh,
that is
yeah.
how you...
Oh, that's right.
You don't get to shuffle your deck.
Oh,
Like, you
that's
do that
right.
with this deck, with the encounter deck, but you
Yeah.
don't do that with the player deck. If you run out of cards,
I can
you
see
just
that.
out of
I
cards.
can see that making
Hearthstone style.
Yeah, right. I can see that making using Aowen pretty tough then, because like deciding when to add suddenly becomes a much more weighty decision if you're going to run out.
Yeah.
Because this, I mean, there's no way we're going to get through this. So
Right.
How many ways are there to pull things? Because I have this one, the Erebor Hammersmith, that returns the topmost attachment in any player's discard pile to his hand.
There
So
are
that
quite a
pulling
few...
ways out of the discard.
Yeah, there are quite a few of those. I actually have one too that I never use, but I would maybe consider that if you're playing something longer like that. Choose an ally with printed cost of X in any player's discard pile. Put that ally into play under your control. So you can actually be like, oh, I'll take that.
thank you.
Is there a card that lets you, I thought I saw this when I was looking through there earlier, that lets you take somebody's discard pile and shuffle it back into their hand? Or back into their draw pile?
I don't think a whole
Yeah. I don't know
shuffling.
that.
That'd be so powerful.
Well, then again, a lot of the cards in this game do seem just crazy powerful. So maybe.
There's no like once per game things though.
Oh yeah.
And like if there was a way to pull something out of the discard pile and that card was in the discard pile, then you could
Then you could just
conceivably
cycle
keep
that?
using it. So I've never seen that, but that doesn't mean it's not there.
Yeah, I looked through there too. I think that was the one. I don't know. I might have probably misread something.
Art wise, it definitely has a feel of Lord of the Rings.
It does. It's not. It's not the Lord of the Rings movies though. Like, which is actually I thought was kind of nice. Like
I
The
mean-
Aragorn looks weird.
Yeah, I mean Legolas. Hold on, I'll hold this up.
Aaron does look weird.
Yeah.
we're gonna be weirded out by this. Because I was when I first saw it. I was like, what? So this is Legolas.
Where's his blonde hair?
Yeah, exactly.
Aragorn doesn't have a beard.
Focus.
Okay, but my Gandalf looks like Gandalf.
Yeah, mine does too.
Yeah,
But
I
this
don't
is a
think you
different
mess up
Gandalf, though.
Oh.
This one looks like a proper Ian McKellen Gandalf, though. He's
Yeah,
he's
it
more
does.
Ian McKellen-y than yours is.
Wait, are all the Gandalfs different?
Yeah, apparently.
Well, this is Gandalf's Search. This isn't actually Gandalf.
Oh, I
It's
see.
a different Gandalf. Like this
Oh.
one is this one was Woshin's Gandalf.
Does yours stay around longer?
This one's a event, not a.
Oh, yours is not actually a ally.
Yeah, I didn't
Wait,
actually
mine
see.
looks...
Look at Galadriel.
Oh man,
She
I got
looks
a pretty
so
good
awesome.
Gandalf.
Can you pull it up?
Oh man,
She looks amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
yeah, I have Gandalf Searches, but I don't think I have a Gandalf in my deck.
This is. I was showing this earlier, but
Oh,
I think
there he
Eleanor
is.
There
looks
you go.
awesome. I don't even know who she is, but she's like a really good defender, or she can like just cancel cards. Any
Yeah.
games that have
Like an
really
Aragorn.
strong female characters, I'm a fan of.
Definitely.
Happening, Aragorn?
Yeah, and I think the art in these is really good too.
Over there somewhere.
Yeah, the
Oh,
art
okay.
is really amazing. All of the encounter cards look really like almost washed out.
Yeah, they're like illustrations in the book. I think that's why I like them. Like, or like, not in the Lord of the Rings books, but just in books in general, they look like those kind of illustrations.
The colors are a little bit more subdued than really
Right.
brightly colored cartoony
Yeah,
things.
Yeah.
exactly. They're not cartoony. They look more like paintings.
I think these cards look amazing.
Although that one is hilarious. I don't remember them being attacked by giant hornets at any point. But
Well, that's the thing, right? This all takes place. I love that it takes place between.
I think we killed that hornet.
we did.
We
We
did.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I killed him when he was still in the stadium hearing. I like that it takes place between Bilbo's birthday and when Frodo leaves.
Mm-hmm.
I almost said Frojo, who is an admin on Heroes Hype and not, in fact, a character in Lord of the Rings.
That's actually a longer time than it seems in the movies too.
Right.
Because in the
'cause
movies it happens in just
it's
like,
just like it's over. Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
didn't
like
even
a
catch
quick
that at first.
yeah.
Because how long is he gone? It's like
This,
several
I think
months.
it's 30-something days
Really?
is what this, hold on.
I thought it was longer than that.
Between Bilbo's
Because he's all
birthday.
scraggly when he gets back. So.
Oh, wait.
I think
These
it's
quests take place during a time span of 17 years.
What?
yeah, I
From
think
when Bilbo celebrates his 111th birthday and Frodo's 33rd to days just prior to Frodo leaving the Shire.
Wait, that took 30.
yeah, it's-
17 years.
So,
because during that time Gandalf has to go. He travels all the way to Rohan, picks up his horse. Does that when he picks up his horse Shadowfax?
I thought that.
No, that's later on.
He's
he does
showing,
that.
yeah,
But he has to
Shadowfax,
go all
yeah.
the way to Gondor. So he travels from the Shire all the way to Gondor to look in the archives. That's where he
Right.
reads about the ring, and then he travels. He says that he looked for Gollum, and then he couldn't find him,
that's
and then he comes
right,
all the
yeah,
way
he's
back.
trying to
Which
find Gollum, which I
I
always
mean-
thought was weird. It's like, oh, did you like just have a peek around?
so like during that time, like in this huge world, like imagine how long it took the Fellowship to get to Gondor. So
Yeah.
I mean, 17 years. That's about right there for him to like go through the archives, read all that stuff, travel
Suddenly
all the
Study
that
for a
way.
long
scene makes so much more sense when he comes bursting
Yeah.
in. It's like, is it secret? Is it safe? It's like, okay, context is what?
Also, hi.
Also,
I haven't
hi.
seen you in 17 years.
Yeah.
Can we exchange pleasantries first? Is
Yeah.
that- no? Okay.
All right.
Dang,
Well, that's
17
awesome.
years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If nothing else, we all learned something.
But even
Well,
between
I
that
did.
time when he comes back to the point in time where Frodo leaves, it's still that might be like a month or two because Frodo has to like sell Bag End and then he moves into another house and on the edge of the forest, the old forest, and then like he has to stage it to look like he's actually leaving Bag End and moving to a different house because they don't want people to know that he's
Oh, actually departing.
actually going to be leaving with the ring. They want to leave like a decoy.
Oh.
Huh.
So that whole section that takes place in like the blink of an eye in the movies is many, many months and years in the books.
Jeez.
Wow.
I've read the books, but it's been forever. Middle school is when I read it.
It's been a long time.
Yeah,
I read the books once a year.
that's cool.
Well, thank you for educating me.
Yeah, no kidding. That's crazy. Well, Any last thoughts about this game for you?
No? Ready for the second quest. Maybe we can do that at some point.
You liked everything?
Yes. Yeah, I really like this game.
Okay.
I think it'll be a lot more interesting to do the second one because then we'll have a better idea of how to play and what's coming at us, and that'll be really cool. So I'm really looking forward to trying more of it later on at some time. And we have this as well, so we can make our own decks and maybe attack
Nice.
something like higher level later on with all of the cards. It'll be fun. Kill all of the themes.
Do you have any final thoughts, Motion?
No, I thought it was fun. I like that, like, your characters themselves are resources in a way, because there's many things that you could use them for, and you have to balance it. So that's pretty cool.
You're so mean to your characters.
All the trade-offs. They're resources. You gotta use them.
I think of them as my friends. Like my friends who gave me cards.
Pull the dub-dub.
Exactly. And with that, do you want to take us out?
Sure. Yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. It was a shorter week, but if you, by the way, did miss the playthrough, you can find that on the Misscliks YouTube or the Twitch channel. Speaking of Misscliks, please follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. We're dedicated to uplifting females in the geek and gaming scene, and we have lots of really cool shows. We have Dungeons and Dragons show, Heroes of the Storm show, this one, and then lots of other video game shows on top of that too, and more to come, I hear. So make sure to follow us so that you can hear more about that. If you'd like to follow me, GillyWeed SC2 on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. What about you, Ogre?
I'm Ogre Yonder on Twitter, and that's just about it.
Yeah. And you have Twitter, right?
I'm at Astria.
All right, cool. Do you have a Twitter?
No. I fly under the radar.
Nice. There you go. And thank you guys for hanging out. We'll return next week with another board game. Bye.
Night, everybody.